welcome to the show. As always, I'm glad you're here. Today is going to be a hunt that I think when we're all said and done, it's going to be one of our most exciting episodes that we've had on Safari Classics TV. The hunts we're going to experience today center around an animal that cost me untold hours of sleep, a lot of anxiety, but despite all that, he is without question my favorite game animal in the world, the spotted ninja of Africa, the leopard. Now our first hunt today is going to take us to one of the big conservancies in the southeastern lowveld of Zimbabwe. This is home to some of the biggest yet smartest leopard in all of Africa. A lot of these are big cattle killing leopards. Now our hunter today is Phil Weidman, and he's going to be hunting with one of Africa's true leopard specialists, Mark Villaro. Of course, our Safari Classics cameraman, Renz Palermo, is going to be filming the action. Now, one thing to understand about the big conservancies as opposed to government safari areas like traditional areas in the Zambezi Valley of Zimbabwe, where you have to shoot your leopard under natural lighting conditions, on the conservancies, they're privately held grounds, so you can use an artificial light. And that really helps your odds because, frankly, these are really smart cats. They've been persecuted for centuries. Ever since they brought cattle in here, the ranchers have been at war with leopards. And now, of course, they have a value as a game animal. But, a lot of times in these conservancies, if you don't use a light, you're not going to get a leopard because a lot of these cats just will not feed in the daytime. Now, it's typical on any baited leopard hunt, you're trying to get a leopard to come to a piece of meat that he didn't kill at a place that he didn't stick it up the tree. However, they had this cat feeding. Mark built a perfect blind. They got in it, and now they're sitting and just hoping this cat comes in.
Full, he's there, but he's on the branch. He's not in a good position though. Just going to leave the light off until he gets in a good position. Full, you ready? He's feeding. He's got one arm up on the bait. The other's on the branch. He's broadside. Okay, shoot him.
Christie's replaying that. That is the sound you don't want to hear. Now if a leopard's properly shot through both shoulders, what you're going to hear is the rifle going off and the sweetest thud that you've ever heard in your life, that leopard falling down, being dead under that tree. Of course, that doesn't happen on every leopard. You need to understand there's a lot of pressure in a nighttime hunt. That light comes on very quickly, and you feel pressure to make a fairly quick shot. So Phil had hit this leopard, but again, I heard that as that leopard was heading off. Now, of course, that's not the sound that you're wanting to hear, but sometimes that's the way it is. So, Mark now's got a problem on his hand. There wasn't a dead leopard under the tree and very little blood spore.
Well, last night we had a big male leopard come into our bait, and we shot at him, and after following up quite a long ways, we found we had been dragging his, looks like a front leg, and there wasn't actually much blood, and we bumped him probably twice, I think. So we decided to pull off, and we've come back this morning to carry on our search. Last night when we went back to camp, we went back to camp last night, and then we've got the apprentice to come help us follow sardine. So hopefully he's going to get some good leopard experience. We've just picked up fresh tracks from this morning. We've left him here last night. He's walked along the path. As we got to this path, we heard growling, sort of that direction, and 2 or 3 Franklin had just taken off. So he's close. Be on high alert. Watch it, watch it!
You know, this shows how quick it can happen. Of course, by it, I mean a pissed off leopard charging you.
Watch it, watch it!
That is how fast that they can come. This leopard was laying in that yellow grass. No way you could have seen him until he came. And Mark, with his double rifle, just put one right through his head. That was really one of the more miraculous shots you'll ever see on safari.
Yeah, he came charging out the bush towards Tinos, one of my trackers, and I luckily managed to stop him on the full charge. But he's a very nice cat. Gorgeous colours, big head. Well done, sir.
Thank you. Well, there's a lot of things to enjoy about our next hunt. It starts with the client himself, Jeff Domoski. Now, Jeff is an international hunter of note, but besides that, he's just one of the funnest guys you'll ever be in camp with. Great sense of humor, super hard hunter, and you know, Jeff is known really widely in a lot of circles as a mountain hunter, and he's killed all the mountain game in the world. In fact, last week it was my pleasure to be in Reno, Nevada at the Wild Sheep Foundation Sheep Week show, and Jeff was awarded the Conklin Award, which is really, it's named after a hunter named Conklin, but what it is, the guys that have won it call it the Tough Guy Award, and it's really given to the guys that have completed the most difficult hunts on an international scale, and Jeff has done that and came back and done it again a few times.
Well, congrats.
But this week, Jeff is going to be in Tanzania hunting with Harpreet Brar of Rungwa Game Safaris. Boy, Harpreet's one of my favorite guys. He's just a hell of a seasoned PH. He's a really, really good leopard hunter. Now, Jeff has been on, this will be his 3rd leopard hunt, and that's pretty typical. Most guys don't get one on their first trip. A lot of guys don't get one on their second trip. Some guys I know have been 3 or 4 times before they had any luck. But this is going to be Jeff's 3rd trip. But he's in the right place, and he's with the right guy, Harpreet.
Dick, him zuri isafi nataka uweke hapo.
Now they've got what's obviously a really big tom on bait, and he's in an awkward position, and that happens a lot. And now it's some of the most nervous seconds of your hunting career, but you're just waiting for this cat to get up and give you a broadside.
Right there. Right now.
Good shot, man. You're a leopard.
Woohoo!
Perfect shot. Look at this leopard. This is a monster leopard, man.
Oh, it wasn't as high as I thought.
No,
It was perfect.
it's good.
That's where I was aiming, but it looked in the video it was high, but it's not high. For a stud, huh?
That's a massive leopard, man. Remember I told you he's a huge one.
I don't know, about 10, 11 days now, and it was one of them sporadic cats. He'd hit in the morning, then he'd hit in the evening, then he'd hit dark, then he'd leave. And back and forth, and we were hunting other stuff, and we missed him a couple mornings that we weren't there, and then we sit, and he wouldn't be there. And anyways, tonight it all came together. He came in early, like at 5:40, 5:35. I tapped Harpreet on the shoulder and said, hey. And everybody got pretty excited and lucked out and whacked him through both shoulders. So he was right there for us at the bottom of the tree, no tracking, no after shot excitement. So I don't know what else to say. It's a great trophy, and I'm very, very, very happy to have it, and very proud to be able to take this quality of leopard.
It doesn't get any better than that. That's your third long trip after leopard, and you finally got the payoff, and man, there's none better in Africa. I want to share some really exciting news with you. One of the things I've learned from doing the Tracks Across Africa TV series for 21 years now is that nearly everybody I talk to has hunted Cape buffalo, or they have dreamed of hunting Cape buffalo. And we are going to make that dream come true for one lucky hunter. We have teamed up with legendary safari outfitter Charlton McCallum Safaris in Zimbabwe for what we are calling the ultimate buffalo giveaway.
Unbelievable.
This is a 10-day buffalo hunt in the legendary Zambezi Valley of Zimbabwe. And this safari can be taken in either 2026 or 2027. And to capture every memorable moment of this epic buffalo adventure, we are going to film it for an episode of our SCI's Tracks Across Africa television series, and I'm going to have you right here on our digital podcast to break down your hunt. And if you're subscribed as an annual member of Safari Classics TV by March 31st, you are automatically entered to win this 10-day buffalo safari with Charlton McCallum Safaris. Now look, I've had a few guys say, how do I sign up? Well, it's actually pretty easy, and we're going to walk you through that right now. The first step is go to safariclassicstv.com and activate your account. You'll select annual membership and then complete the registration, including your payment method. Now you can download the app on your smart TV or mobile device, and you can start streaming immediately. Now I want to make something really clear. The App Store is going to add $30 to your account if you activate through them. I don't want you to do that. Instead, activate your account at safariclassicstv.com and then go to the App Store and download the app for free. Okay, on this week's Hornady Shot of the Week, we're going to give you not just a shot, we're going to kind of break down a really exciting leopard hunting sequence. Now, this is in Zambia, and the professional hunter is Valerio Ventriglio of Cantanta Hunting Safaris, and they are knee-deep in a leopard hunt, and the good news is they've got a big tom feeding. And even better news, he's feeding in the daylight, and here's some great trail cam pictures of him. That's a dream come true. But as leopards tend to do, they can switch the playbook in a hurry, and this cat did. All of a sudden, this cat went from a daylight feeder to feeding in the middle of the night. But they were doing an evening sit one day, and the cat finally made a little bit of a mistake and came in at very last light, and the hunter was able to get a shot into him. Obviously a combination of nerves and not much daylight. He shot him way too far back, and they replayed the video, and Valerio made a difficult decision that instead of trying to follow him up that night, they were going to come back in the daylight, and that's what they did, and they got on his spoor. Now, the client did a really wise thing. He gave his rifle to Valerio's #1 tracker, who's also a really good shot, and they tracked this leopard. They heard him in there give a low growl, and then the cameraman actually saw him, and you'll see that right here. Now, the heat gets reset, but here he comes.
He's done.
And that cat was still trying to get away when they came on him, and he moved a little bit. But immediately when the two hunters stopped and got down, that cat knew he had been seen, and it's happened so many times with leopard. The moment they think you see them, they come like a bat out of hell, and right there is what that looks like. And brother, let me tell you, I won't say that was a lucky shot because it was delivered by men that had been there before, but that was a damn good shot. And that is, if you don't make that shot, somebody's going to be wearing that leopard, and they're going to be carrying a hunter out instead of our man carrying the leopard out, as you see right there. So, that's a combination of a good area, a great professional, and a team, whole team effort. And the nice thing about it, the client did the right thing. He left it in the hand of his professionals and the decision. And so not only does he go home with a great leopard, but he goes home with a hell of a leopard story. And I've had people comment, say, I'm watching the podcast all the time, and you start somebody out by saying, this is one of my favorite guys. But, you know, that is really one of the treasures about being in this industry. You just meet some of the greatest guys in the world, and sometimes people start out as clients and very quickly turn into friends and then lifetime friends. And that's the guy that we're about to see. This is a gentleman named Guy Gorney, one of my favorite, not just one of my favorite hunters, one of my favorite guys. Just a fun guy to be on safari with, great guy to be in camp with, and a damn serious hunter. And he wanted a leopard. I mean, he shot most of Africa's stuff. Now he really wanted a leopard, and he made a good decision. Again, he picked Mark Villaro as his PH, and this again is out in the southeastern low veld on the new Anetsi Conservancy in Zimbabwe. And you know, they had done a lot of hunting before they really got the leopard hunt going their way. They shot impala. He shot a big zebra right off the bat, which is wonderful because it gives you 4 great big baits. So, you know, the good news is they got plenty of bait. Now the other part of the job really starts, and that's putting that trot line of your bait out in an area. But Mark had 2 or 3 good males in an area, and he overlapped them with baits, and it was just a matter of time for a good cat hit.
We had actually checked 3 of our baits of the zebra already, and nothing much was happening, so we rocked up to our 4th bait, and lo and behold, a big male had fed on it that night. And we looked at the stealth cam pictures, and yeah, he has a very big male, definitely a shooter. And we then had to race around. It was all go.
Okay, he's feeding. Just gonna put on my earplugs. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, light coming on. 3, 2, 1.
I got him.
Okay, just wait for him to drop down. When he drops down, then you can shoot him.
Okay.
Damn. You even see the bullet path. And brother, you just made Mark Villaro the happiest PH in the world when you know exactly where that cat's at and he is stone dead. Ooh, that takes a lot of pressure off of everybody.
Oh, what a nice.
And honestly, I wouldn't expect any less than that from Guy because he is really a good shooter.
Well done, sir. Beautiful
Thank
cat
you.
bait.
Beautiful hunt.
Great shot. Hey. Perfect. Let's get him out of that blood a little bit. Is that your bullet, yeah?
Yeah.
Must have hit the tree and bounced back. Yeah, there's the
There
hole
it is,
again.
right there. Yeah. What are the odds?
Yeah. What did you just find there, Guy?
That's it.
What did you just find?
I just found the bullet. Went through the cat, hit the tree right there, and bounced and landed right there.
I don't think I've shot an older cat on Unetsi, and he's certainly one of the most beautiful leopards that I've shot. So.
Very well done. It was
Well
great.
done, sir.
It was great. The whole hunt was tremendous. Thank you.
Well, the next hunt we're going to go on has got a lot of really cool elements. First, the area, the Choroi North area of my beloved Zambezi Valley, one of my favorite leopard destinations. It's got 2 great clients, Keith Shope, Senior and Junior, but a really special element is the professional hunter, Ian Gibson, our dear friend. We lost Ian when he failed to stop a very determined bull elephant charge from close range in 2015. And there's not many days that go by that good man doesn't come across my mind. But, you know, I enjoy being able to go back in our vault and go hunting with Gibbo on so many of the hunts that he's been on. People would meet him and say, I felt like I knew Gibbo. I'd watched him on your show so many times. But this is going to be a leopard hunt, again, in the Choroi South area. Now, Gibbo, one of the most experienced hunters in all of Africa, certainly in the Zambezi Valley. I mean, he was doing line control work, hunting man-eaters back in the day. He was there when black rhinos were still in the valley. And Gibbo had taken a hammering from a leopard. They are a member of Africa's Dangerous Game Club for one reason. They are dangerous, especially when wounded. It was this picture right here. Now, he looks like he's modeling for some underwear magazine or something, but actually when the Demerol wore off, so did the smile. So Gibbo was always very cautious around leopards, but in this game, you never know when you're going to have a charge. Well, when the Shopes arrived, Gibbo had a couple of cats that he knew he wanted to try to bait, so he strung up his trot line of baits. They were, strategically positioned in areas that he knew one of these two leopards ought to hit it, and sure enough, after several days, a good Tom did hit one of the baits. So, in fact, the bait he hit is kind of cool. It was on the exact bait tree that Keith Jr. had taken a leopard the year before.
I just checked the trail camera. The leopard came in at 6:45 last night and he left at 6:20 this morning. He fed about every 2 hours last night on the camera. So I think our best chance is this evening. He's eaten a fair amount of the impala, but he's left a good portion of it, and it's looking good for this evening.
So we go back that afternoon and sit the blind again till dark, and again no leopard. And I was beginning to get a little bit concerned, but Ian said that to just be patient. So we go back the very next morning, and the leopard was actually in the tree when we arrived there. Ian still had not determined if this was the male or not. So we waited, and this leopard continued to feed broadside. Beautiful shot, but again, wasn't sure that we had a male in front of us. All of a sudden, the leopard decides that he's had enough and actually goes up the tree to the back side of the tree and presented absolutely no shot whatsoever for me. And I was taken aback by it because I thought, oh no, he's been sitting there all morning, and now I have no shot whatsoever. But he continued on around the tree and came back to the front side, and I don't know if his intention was to go back and continue to feed or to leave the tree, but he was basically standing looking right at me. I continued to look, he continued to stand there. I had a very good hold, felt comfortable in the shot that I had, so I took it.
Reload. Is he down? Did he stay down? Huh?
He ran.
Okay, let's take another look at that. It looked like that shot was a little bit far back.
I think we made a pretty good shot. We heard him run off and growl a couple times. And so we've gone back to the truck, popped our scope off of the 375, and we're gonna go in and see if we can find him.
We go to the bait tree and see where he had fallen out, but no leopard, no blood. And it is very thick there, very thick. And one of the ironic things is this leopard ran off in the exact same direction as my son's leopard did last August when we were here. So we began to stalk the leopard very cautiously. Again, there was no blood that we could find whatsoever. And we must have gone maybe 35, 40 yards into the very, very thick stuff. And we did find a pretty good spot of blood right in the middle of a game trail. And felt like we were getting close. And all of a sudden, one of the trackers, I think, looked under the heavy brush and thought he saw the leopard.
Gibbo going in with his big bolt gun. Gibbo shot a 4.58 and was a wizard with it. Keith Jr. are right on his left-hand side.
Sorry.
So Keith Jr. says, sorry, and I'm not still sure what he's sorry about because he just killed that leopard that was headed toward the Gibbo. And look at Gibbo gives him one right there, but hey, this leopard is continuing, and now he's trying to work that bolt running backwards, and that's not a favorable position. And that is a mighty, mighty fine client to have at your disposal. They can put a shot in with a scope at about 12, 15 feet. Good job all around.
The guys managed to see him from the side. They saw some movement or something and they managed to pick him up. And we got ready, and sure enough, he charged us. He got very close, but his front leg was smashed and he wasn't running very well. And it was a lot slower than a normal leopard charge, and we managed to put him down. And here we have ourselves a very nice leopard. Well done, Keith.
Thank you, Ian.
You know, the truth of leopard hunting is sometimes leopards can come easy. Most of the times they come really hard, and a lot of the times they just don't come at all. But that's what makes it such a fascinating game. You will earn your leopard. You're going to put in the hours, the driving, the loss of sleep, the sweat, the anxiety. Is this going to happen for me? I have been there. But I continue to tell people year after year, when it finally all goes right with leopard and you walk up and there he is, just the picture of perfection and a dream come true at your feet. To me, doesn't get any sweeter than that. I hope you enjoyed today's show as much as I did. Remember, hit like and subscribe, but most of all, sign up for our Safari Classics TV app. You are going to enjoy it, and you got a chance to win a buffalo, as we said earlier. So until then, I'll see you next week right here on Safari Classics TV.